Understand it when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you put yourselves into the shoes of a girl living in Romania, into the shoes of a girl living in Albania, and have no access to education, climbing mountains to get to them, and maybe your parents do not let you go there, and you are uneducated, having no chances of employment, and even if you have them, have half the wages of your male counterparts. Would you want to live in that society? I would not, and I would have to leave that society if I get any kind of chance. This kind of mail order bride system offers them one, and this is a kind of opportunities that they should not miss. What the side proposition will be trying to tell you today is this: whenever it comes to marriage, people have always been weighting the pros and the cons. And when we look at the situation of this particular mail order brides, we believe the pros actually outweighs the con by a significant margin. Why is that? Honorable Speaker, trust me when I tell you that these girls want to live and they condemn the situation that they live in, because the situation that they live in is a cycle of poverty. The situation that they live in is a cycle of condemnation. The situation that they live in is a situation where their husband beats them, and then they cannot go to the court. Honorable Speaker, they do not want their children to grow up into the society that they have been born in. So, Honorable Speaker, if you see that someone offering them to marry them and move into US, why would they not? This is a question that should be answered by the side opposition. Honorable Speaker, side opposition might come up and then they tell us that there are chances of abuse. But mind this, if there are abuse in US, there can be ways of retribution. But if there are abuses in Ukraine, there is no chance of retribution, because the justice system in Ukraine does not necessarily satisfy your need if you are beaten by your husband. That is why 66 cases were only convicted out of the 2000 cases that were reported into the Ukrainian court in the last 10 years of husband beating the wife. Honorable Speaker, you see, this kind of lawlessness is what drives these women into the better countries. And this is what we have been telling you, that if they go up and they move into a better country, what is the harm over there? There is no a tangible harm that you see. Yes, there can be faults, there can be scams, there is fault and there is scam in every freaking system in the world. But as a system, the mail order bride system is a very significant one for a life-changing event for those women living in Philippines or Cambodia. Honorable Speaker, let us understand the situation of mail order brides. How does it the whole thing happen? A guy sitting in United States of America, maybe in LA, he goes up to a website, maybe a matrimonial one, and then he sees a lot of pictures and the profiles of these girls, and then he decides to contact one. Then they contact, then they exchange letters, and then they meet, and if everything goes well, then they marry. I understand that there can be a huge cultural gap between them. But if you want to marry someone, and if you actually marry someone from a different culture, you will be integrated together because you will be living with them for the rest of your lives. So, Honorable Speaker, the idea that your husband's language can be very different from you actually compensates the fact that you will be getting a better life in US. Honorable Speaker, what are the better benefit schemes that you get from going into the US? The problems of your society, like impoverished society or no job opportunity or education, or I don't know, bad cycles of poverty, all those, leaving all those problems aside, you move into the better country, and what do you get? Number A, you get opportunity of better life. Number two, you get economic and social stability that is so needed if in case you have children. Number three, how this is a win-win situation for your own self and your whole family. Number four, what would have happened if you had lived in your own old country, and how your life have been deteriorated. Honorable Speaker, so the side proposition, I will be telling you how the opportunity of better life is so significant that mail order brides should be registering. Everyone should be registering for this mail order brides. Secondly, I'll be telling you how this is a win-win situation. Then Rafael comes up and shows you the economic and the comparative analysis. So let's move into opportunity of better lifestyle. Of the top of my head, the idea that comes to me is the health insurance that you get. You move into yeah, US from Cambodia, and maybe you have, I don't know, glaucoma, and the US doctors treat you without any cost because your husband's health insurance covers you. Honorable Speaker, your own insurance covers you. These are the kinds of amenities that you get when you move into a country having a per capita of $40,000. Honorable Speaker, these are the kind of amenities that you get, those kinds of amenities that if in bad cases you are very unlucky and your husband beats you, you can go to the court, and the court will give you $400,000, which has happened in a case of a Ukrainian bride who was beaten by her US husband and who was drunk. Honorable Speaker, you see, so there are chances of retribution which you would never get if you are in Ukraine. Honorable Speaker, secondly, we move on to the fact that how it actually provides for your family. Do you know that when the whole thing happens, you get a healthy amount of payment because that guy pays the whole situation some money in order to marry. So a part portion of it goes to the family, and Honorable Speaker, understand it when I tell you that dollars going into that country can actually attribute to the development of that particular family or to the development of that particular person. Even if you split that up and that girl gets a handsome amount, you see, Honorable Speaker, she'll be able to provide herself once she moved into US, and maybe educate herself, maybe create some opportunities, and her husband is always there to support her, right? So, Honorable Speaker, it's a win-win situation for those women. Moreover, think about the children that they are going to have. When you think about those children, those condemning societies that the girl so much condemned because she was beaten, because she was not given access to education, her whole mentality would change and she would have a better life because she'll be seeing her children growing up in US. She'll be seeing her children growing up in neighborhood without any crime. She'll be seeing that her children will be off to school, and having back from school, nothing would happen. No one would kidnap her. So, Honorable Speaker, you see, these kind of increased securities are the kinds of thing that you get when you move into US. So, Honorable Speaker, aside from the fact that this is a whole win-win situation for you, it is also a win-win situation for your family. How is that so? Honorable Speaker, you move into US, right? Then you get the citizenship, and after some days you can move your whole family in. So we believe, Honorable Speaker, when you move your family in, it's a whole better situation for your family too. Maybe you have an aspiring brother who's a very good sportsman who gets into Ivy schools, right? So, Honorable Speaker, you see, there is no bad side to having a mail order bride, right? To being a mail order bride. So why would anyone deny that right? So, Honorable Speaker, as long as it's an informed choice, as long as no one is forcing you to be a mail order bride, we believe it's a very good situation to be a mail order bride, and having to register for it would actually show you a better way of life, and having to register for it would actually give you a better life. So we believe this motion should be passed in this house. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you all.